So these are the parts that we're replacing. This is the old link kit, and as you see, the joint here got separated. We saw this when we took off our wheel. And this is the new link bar that John's going to be installing.
So as I get ready to replace the bearing on this side of the vehicle, I've also noticed that there's a good bit of loose in the tie rod end.
Wait, can't see ya.
Tie rod end. And we found another problem. The link kit blew off of the sway bar. That goes up to the top part of the strut. So we're going to replace that as well. And we're going to replace the tie rod end. So what I like to do when I'm doing this is I loosen the nut, just barely crack it. And then I'll take a marker. Just make a line on the nut and on the bar so that you can count your turns as you're taking it off. So that when you put it back on, you count the turns and it should be right back in the right position. So that helps avoid getting an alignment or less of an alignment. So while you have this in your hand, at the same time, you want to check your inner tie rod end, which is in here, that goes onto the rack and pinion. To check that, you just simply place your hand and you pull back and forth to see if there's any loose in this rod to the rack and pinion. And we can see there's none, so there we know we're good. So now we're going to count the turns to take this off. There's 1, 2, and we'll just continue going like that.
Until it comes off.
Until it comes off. So this is the new one. And I made a mark on it as well, so it's easier for me to count the turns. And when I loosened off over here, the lock nut, I barely cracked it. So when I come up to it again, I know that that's where the adjustment was. I didn't move this for an adjustment.
So we can't get this bolt off, so I'm using the nut cracker to cut it off. Oops.
So we tried using the nut cracker. We were able to cut this part of the nut, but there's a washer on this, as you can see. And we couldn't get the nut cracker to get on there to cut that. So now we brought out this tool here. And we're going to try and cut into it to get the nut off. So that's what we're working at. So we have our new link kit here. And as you remember on the other one, the lower joint popped right out. So now we're going to get ready to install it. To install that, simply slide it in here. So here we're in the process of installing the link kit. It goes to the sway bar and up to the strut. So now we're going to tighten them in place and we're going to proceed to put on the knuckle. So to install this, they recommend you use an Allen key that fits in the end and a wrench so you can tighten it, because otherwise the ball and everything will spin. So here we're going to install the sensor, the speed sensor for the wheel. Otter's going to put the bolt in. And that you just snug it in, you don't go wild tightening that.
Because it's only plastic.
That's right.
Like
Snug
that.
it up a good bit there. A bit more than that.
I think that's enough.
That should be good. Just push that back. Turn it. Okay. Okay, that's good. Try and get that in now. Put it on. So we'll tighten that down and we'll put our cotter pin.
And there she's in. And now you're gonna do your knuckle, tighten it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna lock the nut in place. See how they line up again? The two marks? That's because I got it in the right place.
Okay.
There we go. So we got a big job done. We changed the table with the ball joint, the two bearings, wheel bearings, the two tire rod ends, the exterior ones, and the link kits. So that's all changed on the car now.